This is the pre-show.
Well,
Sorry for the technical. You know, this might add this is like an extra segment. You know what I'm saying? This is a new like post-COVID type of.
Can I
Yeah.
at least give you a shout out to your smashing success of your Miami Nights on YouTube special?
Thank you, man.
Shout out, man. Shout out.
Thank you, dog. Appreciate it, man.
I love it. It was great. Feels like you're getting great response. It's been a hit.
It's been good, man. Just to get it out after sitting on. I never sat on something that long, and you don't realize. I mean, you realize it's heavy, but you don't realize how heavy until it's off your shoulders. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like, whoa. So to finally have it out.
I think it's fun for me because I was there. I feel like almost the beginning of the process. You know, I was touring with you, and when you was building that set, right? And then you were going through so many. You had I feel like you built 2 hours of material. You burned through 2 hours of material during that time.
There's some big jokes that didn't make it in, like big jokes that had production in them, that did well with the crowd, that didn't make the final 50-ish minutes or so.
Yeah. So that was good, but then you dropped it because you had the screening in LA, which I came out to.
Yeah.
Why did you choose YouTube?
It just.
By the way, I'm taking over this interview. This is mine. Mine.
Actually, you can use if you want.
Yeah,
you can put it.
I will use it. Go ahead. So why'd you choose YouTube?
I had the opportunity to go to one of the major spots, and it just like with our world and our business being very uncertain right now, the places didn't have the same incentives in my mind, you know, with me not being able to tour in the fall. So I just felt like keeping full control of something I really worked on, and trying to give it a shot and see what I could do with it on YouTube that was the move for me. And then it forced me to kind of be more creative about how I wanted to make some money on it. I had to make some money on it. I paid to have it made. So then I started looking into I started hitting up some people that I know in startup and venture capital about potential companies that would be good in this scenario to kind of do a equity deal or something like that. And so somebody recommended that the company Undock to me, which is
I've heard of that.
Yeah, scheduling and video conferencing. The video conferencing hasn't been rolled out completely yet. That's why we're on Zoom right now. But
for those of you who are tuning in, this was me being the guest on Hannibal's show, but Hannibal has he's going through some technical difficulties.
Yeah,
so
technical difficulties.
I hijacked the show, and now it's going to be part of Happy Hour with Kevin Bozeman. So
fair play.
That's where we're at.
That's good. I'm with that.
I mean, that's who we are, really.
Yeah.
That's flexibility right there.
Yeah.
Yo, you though have taken this Corona seriously. You actually quarantined yourself. You hold yourself up, because I was like, yo, man, what's going on? You was like, man, I ain't leaving. You was on lockdown, correct?
I think I overdid it though.
How so?
Meaning that there was still stuff I could have done, but I really, it was a mental lock also. Meaning I could have went into the wood. I live in Southern California, so there's all this, hikes and mountains and all these areas to really explore. And I kind of just put myself in the house. And I regret doing that. I wish I moved around a little bit. I wish I went for some drives. Wish I went to, I went out. One day I did just kind of drive out to the beach. The beaches were closed. A lot of the main beaches in LA were closed, but I drove up to Oxnard. It's an hour and some change from LA, and just walked out by the water. It was 2-3 in the morning. I just was at the beach solo just to fucking get some movement and just, do something. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you were in good health. Yeah, because I remember you went to see your fam in Phoenix and you was hyped.
Yeah.
Dude, you was because you were driving through the mountains, calling me like, I'm living. I'm back to living.
I was really hyped because it was first time moving around, man. And so that's who I've been for a while, moving around, traveling, going to, whether it's doing shows or going to check out something or going to a conference, going this, visiting somebody. It's always been a lot of movement. And so after not having that for a while, not doing that, and then having a trip, it really reignited me in a way. It was like, oh yeah, it reminded me, oh yeah, right. I used to move around. And when I grabbed my book bag, hadn't grabbed my book bag in a while. I was like, oh man, the book bag is back. The book bag. We are reunited. And we're about to go on
a trip. Speaking of, do you foresee yourself doing a live show in 2020? What are the odds? Give me some gambling odds on that.
Give me the
gambling odds.
With a roof or no roof?
Great question. Give me both. Give me the answer to both.
Without a roof, I'll do an outdoor show.
So you think it's gonna happen?
I might do a drive-in series with the special.
Oh, all right. So this special is, which one is this? Your fourth one or fifth one?
Depends on how you want to count,
anything that's out there for public consumption, not CDs.
Visual. Okay, so then that make it 5. Animal Furnace, live from Chicago. Hannibal Takes Edinburgh, Comedy Commissado, Miami Night.
So how does this one, does it feel different? Because your evolution as a comic has definitely changed with you're not just pure stand-up.
Yeah.
So how does this feel?
I think it's a combination of a lot of the whole scenario is a combination of a lot of the things that have shifted over the past 4 years between Commissado and this for me, meaning the podcast, which was a creative shift, and it's just kind of the ideas I was experimenting with there, and my involvement in tech investment and all of that influenced what I did with the deal with Undot. And then and just working with Chris Merck, who I met Open Mike Eagle video shoot a few years back, and we did some multiple projects too for Toro. So kind of knowing that he would, like, any idea he'd be able to elevate and just kind of make it happen. That made it. So it's the dopest one. And also the other specials were kind of made almost in a cycle.
How so?
Animal Furnace was in 2011, dropped in May 2012. Live from Chicago was made at beginning of 2014, dropped later 2014. Commissado was made in fall 2015. After a January 2014 recording. And so this one been kind of really cooked up a little bit. And I'm happy it was, and I'm happy it was sat on a little bit and really worked on and thought about in a way that the other ones weren't, couldn't be because of the timing.
So now you got no restraints as your brand is built getting bigger. I think that's safe to say. What makes you turn down the second Spider-Man? Right? Because
Yeah,
you got offered. So you in the Spider-Man, the reboot Spider-Man.
yeah,
Spider-Man Far From Home was the one that you turned down.
right.
You tell me that, and I still was just like I played it cool, but like I feel like I laid in bed for like 15 minutes. It's like what? But why? Why would he turn that down?
I,
Because your
I
answer was you didn't want to just be stuck in Paris or wherever it was they was filming it.
I just didn't think it would make me happy. That's really what it.
That's a better answer than what you gave me before.
That's part of the being stuck or being in. And so I think that's what it is. It's just, you know, especially in something like that where it's a it's a huge project. It was dope to be in the first one, and it's dope to be considered and stuff like that. But then when you have other creative outlets and ideas, and so when after a while of doing a few of them, I have to kind of sit and really consider stuff and just think about the time spent, uh, what the project would mean to me, what else I could be spending energy or time or travel on.
Yeah,
And so when I really thought about it, I kind of like, would I be overjoyed and ecstatic to be doing it? It's it's a small role in a big picture. It's a dope opportunity. It's not to diminish it, but for
yeah,
me personally, that's where it was. It was just like, I'm gonna be moving around and sometimes the movies will block out time that they don't really truly need from you, but you're
yeah.
kind of at their, they're
Disposal.
beholden to them. Yeah. And so I feel like I'd rather, you know, be at doing like 100% me than 5-10% them. You get what I mean?
Yep, I know exactly what you mean. And plus, you're not just an entertainer anymore, dude. You going out doing some pretty dope shit socially. So you jump started a school. Is that correct? Tell me about that.
Melvina Masterminds, nonprofit I got in Chicago. I want to just have
Is it
something.
a building or is it just like
It's
a,
a
a
building.
concept?
It's a building. I bought the building. Uh, things are not at the pace that I would like, but with how things have gone with COVID, it's probably kind of good that it didn't get accelerated,
Right.
because if we ended up going how we wanted to do and doing this multi-million-dollar renovation to the building, or it might be in progress now, then it's like we got the shiny building and then everything's kind of in flux. So it's a lot of things. So now it allows us to say, okay, we can now kind of move into a virtual workshop type of situation, and then we have access to more people than if we were just trying to get people to come somewhere in Chicago.
Wait.
Now,
Well,
meaning
hold
I
on,
could.
hold on. Sorry to interrupt, but what is the school about though? Like, wait, it's not just like a regular school though, right?
It's not a school. The idea is to have an arts and tech center and kind of have this hub that's in my old neighborhood, and just a place for kids to take classes and learn things and just have a dope spot that, different
Almost
types
like
of,
a cultural center with a
almost like
focus.
that. Yeah, in the area. And so things move a little slower than I would like, but now since a lot of things going virtual, we got some plans for August to have different, virtual workshops. And now since it's less time required, now it doesn't matter if somebody's in Chicago or touring through Chicago. Now we can kind of just say, hey, do you have 2 hours in August? That's a different ask than come to the West Side and do this or that, don't it? Now it's, do you have 2 to 3 hours in August? Tell us the day and we'll work around that. And so now that kind of widens who we can reach out to for stuff. So I'm excited to get that part going.
That's pretty dope.
Because then it can really grow,
of course,
the name and it as a global thing. Because we can, of course, kind of limit certain things to the local zip codes, but then
but you're in no rush either.
Right.
You're in no rush, which is fantastic when you're trying to build something from scratch, to not be under a real timeline. So, which I've been telling people this, that speaking socially, that part of the wealth equality and the Black community is that we don't put our money into the stock market. You are now, well, you used to be, but you pulled it out for a minute, right? I don't know if you still have.
I did a panic pull out, yeah.
But you had invested in quite a bit of different stock options. Just in your opinion, the importance to you of why, you felt the need to just not keep your money balled up in a Nike sock under your mattress like most Black families do.
I mean, I think I can't speak for everybody. I just know it was just, you have to. It's just, investment is, he says, just a protection against inflation. So at the lowest level, at the most conservative, kind of straightforward, meat and potatoes investing, I think they say you get between 6 to 8% or something.
Yeah.
On your money. And then, that just covers the rate of inflation and things going up, or taxes, and so it's really that. It's just, want things to grow, and also not. I don't take this business and what I'm doing now as being forever or so I look at like pro athlete shit,
right?
Where maybe I got a hot 7 prime earning years. I'm at a handful now, so it's like, so how many of these years do I have? So making sure that making some solid moves and trying. Some gonna be right, some gonna be wrong. Shit is gambling.
Here's the bad part about your evolution is that I've lost yet another drinking buddy.
As you put, I mean, listen, man.
The show's called Happy Hour.
Oh,
Hannibal, it's called Happy Hour.
Hey, man, I got my juice box up in here. You know what I'm saying?
Splash! I didn't even heard of that juice box.
Kids juice, me either.
You ain't even got kids, and you got a juice box.
Hey, man, listen, dog.
Man, you went out and bought juice boxes?
I tippity tapped it on the Instacart. Okay. It was like, sure, juice. Because you know what? This keeps you in a young spirit. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, I'm a juice box.
Yeah, cool. Like I can't get behind it, but you put some vodka in that. You give me a vodka juice box. I'm in.
Poison, you say?
No, I didn't say that. Those are your words. You're a word
rather have poison than a kid's juice box.
You don't think that all that sugar is not poison?
It's this is
you have to tell me that's sugar free?
No sugar added. Oh, whoa.
All right. Well, anyway, how long has it been since you've been sober?
I haven't drank. You know what? Actually, I did this thing called smoking at church. It's this cat, James Earl, and Jamil Bruner do this Instagram live show smoking at church, and they invited me to come through, and it was my first time being around a group of people in a while. It's about a month and some change ago, and I was like around 6 people for the first time, and it was nerve-wracking at first. And so they were doing shots, and I had one shot to commemorate being around people again, and that was my first shot since January of 2018.
Wow.
A single shot.
Wow. And you feel good though, right? You haven't necessarily been like, oh shit, if I could be drinking right now.
Nah, I don't really miss it. That one was ceremonial, and then the 7 after it were a spiral out, but I bounced back.
Last night you took an L, but tonight you bounced back, baby.
The relapse was insane. Listen, sometimes fist fights happen, but nah. No, it was cool to actually just have the one shot and it meant something in that, and then to not crave it. I mean, I smoke a little bit, edibles, sometimes weed mints,
Yeah.
a little bit of mushroom. Like I'm not out here. I don't know. I mean, I got hella respect for people that are completely straight edge.
Yeah.
That's not something that I could manage. Even just the way I like to listen to music. I want to be high sometimes, in a certain zone. Like you listen to certain shit when you microdose some shrooms, it's like the shit is intense. So I say, I wouldn't say sober, but just not a drinker.
Which now explains the last playlist you sent me.
What I say?
Because I asked, I was like, "Yo, man," because I always go to Hannibal for music advice. I'm like, "Yo, man, just send me something," because I know you always listen. I'm like, "Yo, man, just send me something that I might not be up to." And I was like, "All right, I'm gonna work out to this." And I was like, "This is different. This is different than what you normally sent me."
Let me
I
see.
liked it. It just ain't gonna go down as my. I don't use it for my workout music anymore, but I do like it.
I'm trying to see where I sent. I'm looking through our text when I sent
I'll tell you what you sent. You sent. Okay, so you sent a couple of Lupe Fiascos, Open Mike Ego, USDA, Solange, Nas, Earl Sweatshirt.
Which Earl Sweatshirt?
3 of them. You sent Inside, Sunday, featuring Frank Ocean, and Burgundy featuring Vince Staples. You sent The Alchemist, Flying Lotus, Flying Lotus, Flying Lotus, Flying Lotus. You sent some Thundercat. You sent Freddie Gibbs and Medib, Little Brother, Fonte, which is cool. Tame Impala.
Okay.
Tame Impala.
Was this all on one list? Or this is just
dog, you sent me a where I was very appreciative. Danny Brown, Primo Rice, Rusty. This was all on one list. And some of it was just kind of futuristic. I liked it.
Yeah, I mean,
we got the same taste in music, but you listen to stuff that I don't. If it ain't really mainstream, like it don't really get to me.
Yeah, I try to listen to some,
But no, if you tell me that you slightly buzzed, I like now that list makes complete sense. Now I can listen to it from a different perspective. I might even have to take one to go ahead and listen to it and be in a different zone. All right, we just got a few minutes left. So a couple of things. What do you miss most about stand-up, or are you glad for this break? Because you've been going.
Actually, I wasn't really performing that much when this went down. I was kind of doing gigs I would do a couple gigs per month to try to cover costs, but I wasn't really going in. But I do. with this Miami Nights drop, I missed the movement that comes with putting out a project. The going radio, the TV. Usually
promos and stuff.
you doing stuff in LA and New York, and I probably would have popped home easily without having to overthink it and popping in at the comedy club. I would have dropped in. The energy around it, it was weird because I was excited. It was dope to see that people were receiving the project well, but it was definitely a little weird, and it felt like something was missing. It was something missing. They were like, it wasn't like, oh, I felt like something was missing. What was it? Everything.
Yeah. Here's one for you, and we never even talked about this. I don't think we've ever talked about this. Who right now, because everybody's got lists. I'm the king of lists. But who is your top 5 working comics right now, just off the top of your head?
Top 5 working. Chappelle.
Okay.
The 85 South Show as a collective.
Oh, really?
Their hustle is dope, and they're really.
Who's all in that, real quick? Let's give them a shout out.
DC Young Fly. That's Carlos Miller and Chico Bean.
Okay.
Who else? Billy Burr.
Yeah.
But also, I'm going off of.
Going off what? This is who you gonna want. You stuck watching 5 shows. Who you gonna want to see? So you gave me 3.
Yeah.
Don't give me like, I don't want to know like, oh, who's packing it out? Like, who's just like, oh, this dude's in town, or this dude's in town. Who you gonna go see? So go from that list.
Then I'll go. Who would I go see? I would go see Dion.
Deon Cole?
Yeah.
Facts. Agreed.
And I'll say, who else is? I'm trying to think who else I would see. Like it's the thing of, it's one thing to like somebody's stuff, and like another thing as a comedian, I'm going to the show. Because going to a comedy show is and being able to go to somebody's show.
Well, you got less than a minute, so go ahead and give me one.
I'm gonna. I think. Let me see.
I'm gonna answer, Miss Pat.
Yeah.
That's right. Fifth, listen, man. Miami Nights.
Yeah.
Available on YouTube. 5 days. Already over 500,000 views. You guys got to check it out. It was great watching it built from scratch organically. Follow Hannibal wherever it is you need to follow him. Thanks for letting me hijack this show. And yeah, I mean,
it's only right after the technical difficulties you've been through.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So anyway, man, always a pleasure, man. Be great to see you face to face and hang again, but who knows when that'll be.
Yeah, it'll be soon, man. It'll be soon. All right.
All right, everybody. Deuces.
All right.